Well, I hope you enjoyed our day. There were some exceptions to areas that did not clear down around parts of Salem and then southward. The valley never really cleared out. It was overcast in many of those areas. Downtown Portland's behind me at coming up on 5:30 from the Portland Spirit Landing. Just a beautiful day. We warmed into the low to mid 50s this afternoon. Most of us saw the sun. Hope you enjoyed it. Okay, let's get talking about the storm coming in tomorrow. It still looks like a 2-day event, Wednesday, Thursday. Primarily, we're just talking rain for the valley, but this will be the biggest snowstorm that we've seen in quite some time up over the Cascades and Mount Hood. So that's terrific news, right? We've got a winter storm warning now. These areas highlighted in the bright color up and down the Cascades, including up into Washington around Mount St. Helens. We've got a winter storm watch for potential snow in Wasco County, lesser snow amounts over in Central Oregon, Madras, and Bend under a winter weather advisory. For the Cascades, snow level is going to be about 3,000 feet, maybe a little bit lower, and accumulating snow 10 to 20 inches. So the low end could be 10 inches fall at government camp or even a foot. So that's terrific news for our snowpack that's been dwindling due to lack of any storm action, as you know, over the last several weeks at this point. And then in the gorge, pardon me, also notice the winter storm warning colors in the West Gorge, including the Hood River Valley. We're talking about sticking snow here, primarily not during the day tomorrow, but tomorrow evening, night through Thursday morning. Up to 4 to 8 inches of snow could fall right along I-84. So that means Wednesday night, Thursday morning, traveling in the gorge on I-84 or SR-14, absolutely expected to be impacted by some winter weather. I suppose you could make the case that especially Interstate 84, maybe temperatures hold right around freezing to slightly above, and we don't really have travel issues, but I think odds are at least better than 50-50 that we do see some snow on the interstates. We'll keep a close eye on that. Okay, want to show you the setup. Here's our storm. This is the current satellite picture. It's got the upper level 18,000 foot contours with it. So here's our low. You can see the clouds arcing out around it. A little bit of a warm push right here. This low is going to make a beeline, pardon me, for the mouth of the Columbia River during the day tomorrow and then just hang out on Thursday. And with the low right there, it's going to pull east winds through the Columbia River Gorge with the moisture being thrown inland, and that's going to be producing our storm. There's actually, I think, a chance for a mainly dry break on Friday, and then the next storm systems coming in for the weekend look to be pretty weak at this point. But that's where our storm is right now. This is going to throw rain inland first into southern Oregon early tomorrow morning, and then it's going to move up north. These are maps that I showed you the other day. I've updated them, but there's really very little update to be doing. This is the GFS America model. We looked at this yesterday. This is tomorrow at 4 o'clock. There's that low that I just showed you on the satellite picture, parking itself off the mouth of the Columbia. Here's the Canadian air mass all lit up in color. Not a strong east wind pull tomorrow, but a developing east wind pull with the moisture coming inland from that low. This is Thursday at 4 a.m. The low doesn't budge. Cold Canadian air now penetrating a little bit farther southward into the Plain States and the Midwest and Nebraska and Iowa. And what, for whatever reason, the GFS modeling package that I get doesn't completely color in all of the data, meaning there's a gap. So clearly, if you follow my cursor, here's that colder air all the way down in the northern Nevada and spilling into our area, but the cold core stays off to our east. So we're never really going to get into really cold air. Again, this is Canadian air. It's really not Arctic air to start with, but we will be pulling an east wind off of it, and it will be clashing in with this system that's going to be hanging out Thursday. And then this low finally weakens Thursday afternoon during the day. I've got one more map I want to show you. This is Saturday. Now, by Saturday morning, the 2-day storm event's over. Wednesday, Thursday, pardon me. Bit of a dry break on Friday. But Saturday, we're still pulling off of this east wind, off of this cold Canadian air that's diving all the way now down into Missouri and Tennessee. And then we've got this brand new weather system approaching from the Pacific, throwing moisture inland. So this still interests me that it's possible if there are breaks in the cloud cover Friday overnight, with east winds providing low dew points. We could get some, pardon me, some drastic cooling down to the freezing mark in the valley with some early morning moisture, and that would produce at least a chance of some wintry precipitation Saturday morning. Now, if that happens, it will be light and it would melt off during the day as temperatures would be warming up into the 40s. But that's just something that we looked at. And I'm continuing to look at with this overall setup. Okay, want to get in. Let's start talking about the east winds first. Okay, this is tomorrow morning at 4 a.m. This little cluster up here, that's wind starting to pick up from the east in the Columbia River Gorge. So let me go ahead and play this into Wednesday at 4 p.m. Not the strongest east winds ever, but there's 32-mile-per-hour wind gusts in East Multnomah County. Definitely a bullseye of gorge winds. You get away from the gorge, notice there's not a much wind, really. 18 to 20-mile-per-hour winds from the southeast along the coast. We'll play it into Thursday at 4 a.m., see what we got. Kind of the same thing, 30, maybe 40-mile-per-hour wind gusts coming out of the gorge. Away from the gorge, noticeably breezy. There's 17-mile-per-hour winds, but not overly windy in Marion County. And then we play this into 4 p.m. Now the east winds are starting to fade away. Look at the gorge, down to 18 miles per hour. Friday's a potential dry day, but then by the time we get into Friday night, now the winds are picking back up. Here's 40-mile-per-hour winds coming out of the gorge. This is Friday at 4 p.m. Here's that south winds picking up along this front coming in from the Pacific. And I just want to play this into Saturday morning at 4 a.m. because to me, this is interesting. Still east winds, not overly strong, but 30-mile-per-hour winds coming into the gorge, coming into Multnomah County. This is south winds picking up with that system throwing moisture. And so we'll see if we get a little bit of winter moisture Saturday morning or not. If we do, it'd be more of a talker, pardon me, than anything. Okay. I had a talk with a colleague of mine. The National Weather Service has written on this, that this position of the low that's coming in around the mouth of the Columbia is similar to a setup that we had in 2017 that produced a pretty impressive snowstorm on the valley floor in Portland. But that was a much colder setup. So the point of this temperature map is to show you that although we have some cooler weather coming in, feeding off of that Canadian air mass with an east wind, nowhere in Eastern Oregon or Washington really ever gets that cold. And that's going to help it stay rain Thursday and Friday in the I-5 corridor. Pardon me, sorry. So this is tomorrow afternoon. Excuse me, this is this afternoon, pardon me. It does show 50-degree temperatures around Portland, which is accurate, okay? So here we are tomorrow morning. Now we got moisture starting to pick up in southern Oregon. We got temperatures above freezing, but in the 30s to start. We've got gorge temperatures near freezing to mid-30s. Certainly the rain is widespread into the gorge and up and down the I-5 corridor in the coast by 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Look at the temperatures, chilly, but not of concern. 40 degrees generally up and down the I-5 corridor, a little bit warmer. And during the day tomorrow, I think this is true, 34, 37-degree temps along I-84 in the gorge. Could be a snow mix in the air, but I think ground temperatures hold above freezing and it's just wet. Again, I start the chance of accumulating snow Wednesday evening into Thursday morning in the Columbia River Gorge. Now, this shows 33 Hood River, 33 the Dalles. That could be sticking snow, certainly in spots of the Hood River area east to the Dalles along I-84. We're still holding around 40 degrees or upper 30s in Portland and the coast, not a concern. Now we played into Thursday at 4 in the afternoon. There's the gorge potentially getting above freezing. That may or may not happen. Thursday afternoon is a bit of a wild card in the gorge. Potentially it's 31, 32, 33 all day with some ongoing sticking snow. But temperatures in the valley, certainly no issue here in the 40s. And if you look out into Spokane, yeah, it's chilly. It's 31 degrees Thursday at 4 in the afternoon, but that's not extreme cold. And it's even 42 out around La Grande. And again, that's not extreme cold. And I don't think it's enough cold to lower snow levels, even if we have heavy precip rates. There's no cold to really drive temperatures down the valley. So I think we're just going to have rain for Wednesday and Thursday. All right, here's that low. This is a surface map on the GFS model. Different way to look at what I showed you a moment ago. Here's the low tomorrow afternoon at 4 o'clock. This does highlight nicely the Canadian surface side up here. And again, this is going to start filtrating an east wind blowing toward this low. Let me play this into Thursday morning. Here's that Canadian surface side. There's the low still overhead. East winds pulling toward that low, gusty east winds. If you're in those spots, you usually get it. Thursday afternoon, that low kind of dissolved. Here's the Canadian air still in place. Here's the surface fronts that would give us shower chances coming into the weekend. Let me play this into Friday. Here we are Friday afternoon. I think we have the potential to be dry, but there will be increasing clouds being thrown inland off of this low Friday afternoon. Here's that Canadian surface side down through Nebraska and Kansas. And this is absolutely sending us breezy, gusty east winds through the gorge toward this incoming moisture on Friday afternoon. And if I play this into Saturday morning, here we are, absolutely an east wind. If we drop down to freezing, which we may not do, but I just think there's the chance that we could get some low elevation snow Saturday morning. It's probably less than 50% chance. Just something I'm watching with that cold Canadian high still sending cold east winds our direction. Okay, what about the moisture? Let's look at it. Tomorrow morning at 4 a.m. Here it comes up. This is the moisture. It's going to show you accumulation as well. First into southwestern Oregon tomorrow morning. And then let me just go ahead and play this. So by the noon hour, here we are. Okay, this is getting by the noon hour. We're now just starting to pick up light moisture in Portland. It might be earlier than that, but certainly it's increasing rain chances going into the noon hour, up into Portland, and then eventually in the afternoon up through Southwest Washington and out in the gorge. Let me just stop this. This is 4 a.m. Thursday morning. These moisture totals are pretty impressive. This is showing 3/4 of an inch, we'll call it on average, from Portland to the south. An inch of rain along parts of the coast, getting up to 1/4 of an inch around the Seattle area. This shows about a 1/2 of an inch or 4/10 of an inch out toward the Dalles and Wasco County. Manageable rainfall across all of eastern Oregon, or snowfall would be some snow showers out east. But it's a pretty good chunk of moisture, right? And then we add to it Thursday afternoon, here's into Thursday evening. Most of the models I trust the most show that we stay under an inch in Portland, but we have maybe 3/4, 8/10 of an inch. This model is a little bit wetter. Clearly, it could be right. Shows like 1.25 inches. We need the rain. It's been a dry February, so that'd be terrific. And clearly, plenty of moisture for winter storm warning conditions with heavy snow up in the Cascades. And again, maybe 1/2 of an inch of rain up in Seattle, but certainly more in Oregon than we get up in Washington this time around. Okay, I want to go ahead and jump to snow. So this is total snowfall picking up tomorrow in the Cascades through Friday morning. Look at that, 25 inches of snow around Mount Hood. My best guess is 10 to 20. This shows a little bit more, 25 inches. We haven't had a big snowfall in the mountains in weeks. Boy, do we need this. Now, if you look carefully along I-84, it's mostly a blue color. That blue tone is the potential by the time you get in the Hood River and out to the Dalles of generally up to 6 inches of sticking snow along I-84. And then quickly up in elevation, including the upper Hood River Valley, you get some decent snow and decent snow up into the Cascades of Washington as well, and then snow showers varying out east. This does pick up about 3 inches of snow in the Redmond Bend area. A little bit of a higher bullseye when you get down into southern Deschutes County and Sun River, but it likes some accumulating snow in much of central Oregon. So we'll see if that happens. I mentioned earlier that, well, here's a shot of Salem now showing that it has cleared out, but that's really just happened. So look at Salem's temperature, 43 degrees, where Portland's at 52. We've had the sun all afternoon. And again, if you look at the current temperatures here at 540, you can see Woodburn, Salem, McMinnville, all spots that struggle to get the sun today. So I know to me it's a bummer when other areas get sun and warm up and you don't. But sometimes that's the way the cookie crumbles on these foggy mornings this time of the year. I do want to just highlight some forecasts. Let's go to Central Oregon, 45 in Bend right now. Remember, expecting some accumulating snow Wednesday night into Thursday morning in Central Oregon. We saw maybe 3-4 inches of snow. Thursday daytime warming above freezing. Friday's mainly dry. Then there's some showery chances on Saturday with highs back up into the 40s. So again, it's that Wednesday overnight, Thursday morning accumulating snow in Central Oregon. And that was really the same thing for the gorge that I was looking at as well. That Wednesday night, Thursday morning. Seattle's just going to be rain. They've got 47 tomorrow, 46 Thursday, staying above freezing. Mainly dry on Friday, and then some shower chances and warmer going into the weekend. Temperatures around 50 degrees. So let me just jump you to Portland 7-day forecast. This is brought to you by Hazeldale Tire Pros up here in Hazeldale in Clark County. Once the rain starts tomorrow where you live, there may be some breaks, but overall it's going to be raining most of the time. Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday night, and Thursday. Thursday afternoon may see the rain start to break up a bit. Don't forget, we've got east winds becoming gusty, at least to 40 miles per hour, I think, blowing out of the gorge into East Clark and Multnomah County, and breezy in other locations tomorrow night, and Thursday as well. The winds fade away Thursday night and a Friday morning, and then pick back up during the day Friday. Remember, we looked at that. Partly sunny skies, mainly dry on Friday. I mean, there's at least a shower chance on Friday, but I think we have a decent bet to be dry. And then some rain showers on Saturday. I think it's light rain amounts, but some shower activity. Sunday looks drier. And then Washington's birthday's on Monday. Shower chance mainly late in the day, and some showers on Tuesday. Notice we'll be warming back up. I do keep Portland above freezing. Right now, even Saturday morning, I'm watching the chance of maybe some low-level wintry precipitation in the valley. Portland could get down to 32 right now. I think the odds favor is holding in the mid-30s. So just something that I'm watching. Okay. I hope that gave you some good information to help you plan ahead. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please hit subscribe. That helps me out. My weather site's portlandweather.com. I'm Rod Hill, and I'll talk to you soon.